Hey guys, just really quickly wanted to go over the anatomy of these cards. This is the cards that you'll be using to play the game Star Wars Legion. Again, this is just covering basic games. My intention here is just to make videos for friends and family to understand how to play the game so we're not spending the entire time teaching when people come over to play. The bigger cards here are our unit cards. These are actually going to be the minis that we're playing with. And then the smaller cards are generally upgrade cards that we can apply to. So you'll notice this little symbol right here matches the symbols on the side. That just lets me know that I can push this over and put it onto Darth Vader, and it gives him some extra abilities, which is fantastic. Now, uh, one thing to note here, this Death Trooper unit can take a DLT-19D Trooper. This actually adds this Trooper unit mini onto here. So this is actually not an upgrade. It's just an additional troop to the squad. So some of them, and you'll see this right here on these Stormtroopers, they've got this heavy gunner one, and then that singular rifle looking guy. It's hard to see here, but on the cards when you have them in front of you, you can really see. That just indicates they can take either a heavy support upgrade or a regular trooper upgrade. So that's what those symbols on the side indicate. The ones up top here is actually talking about the unit type. So you'll have order tokens in the game. This tells you what unit you're going to be controlling on that activation. Again, we get into this in later videos, so I don't want to spend much time there. But as you pull that, you'll look down, and this tells you which unit you can be activating and giving orders to based on that token. The next piece of information that's very valuable is going to be this number right here underneath the unit icon, and that just tells you how many minis are in that unit. So obviously there's only one Darth Vader, so you get one of him. But with these Stormtroopers, they're a standard trooper unit, you'll get four of them. And so that's important to know because when we go to roll attack dice, we're always going to roll based on however many minis we have in our unit that are still alive. And again, we cover that in some later videos, but that's what that means there. So you get standard four troopers with this guy. You get two bikes here, one, and one. And then our next one down, if we look, we're going to see this green number. This just indicates the health of the unit. So Darth Vader has 8. And so it'll take 8 hits to take him off the board, but those Stormtrooper units or the Imperial Death Troopers only have 1 health per unit. So what that means is I've got 4 of them, 1 health per, so if you get any hits to go through when you're attacking them, let's say I rolled 2 hits and the person on the other side rolled a save, that means 1 hit got through, so I would pull 1 mini off because it did 1 damage to that unit, so I'd pull 1 off. Versus if I look at these speeder bikes, they have a 3, so and there's 2 of them, so that means if I did 1 damage, I would put a wound token down, but both speeder bikes stay on the board. So it's not taking 2 speeder bikes out when you do 3 damage. This is per unit. So it functions a lot like this 4 and then rolling the dice down here. It's the same way. It's just 1 per. So for every 1 damage done, I take 1 of these minis off. For every 3 done, I take 1 of these minis off. For every 8 done, I take 1 of the minis off. That's how that works. And then I've got this yellow number down here. Don't worry about that. That's part of the advanced game, as well as this gear icon. We're not going to play with those right now at this point. So we'll cover that in some later videos probably. These white icons here, this white box icon and this red, that just tells you what type of defensive dice you're rolling. You're either rolling white defensive dice or red defensive dice in the game, and that's all that does. Right below it, and I don't want to get too deep into this because we'll cover this in our attack and defend videos that are coming up. But this is our surge capability of our unit. You'll notice Darth Vader here doesn't have anything there. This guy's only got it on the top. These guys have it on the top and the bottom. And this just indicates when you're rolling dice, whether you're attacking or defending, if you roll what's called the surge icon, it looks like that little symbol right there. If you roll that, that can turn it into something different that can benefit you. And so that's what that means. And again, we'll cover those in later videos. So that's really important to understand where to go look on your card. And then right here, you see these 2 little red blips. We got 1 red blip, 2 again, and then 3. This just indicates the speed at which that unit moves. And so here, these speeder bikes actually move at a speed of 3. They're really, really fast. So there's move tools that we use in the game. 3 is the longest, 1 is the shortest, and 2 is just right in the middle, as you would expect. And so that's just telling you how fast that unit can move. And so that's that piece. You'll also notice in the middle of the card here, we've got all these words. There's a lot of text and there's bullet or bolded words here. And those bolded words are what are called keywords. They add extra abilities onto your unit. So in this case, if you look, Darth Vader has no surge capability, but if he takes a dodge action and then spends that token, which again, don't worry about understanding that right now. We'll cover that in the attack and dodge video. But if he spends that and then I roll a surge, now it actually converts over to a save. So what that does is it eliminates a hit. So Vader's safe from getting hit, but it also bounces that bolt back to the enemy unit and damages them. So it really gives him a pretty powerful ability. So it makes it where you want to kind of take some dodge actions with him. Again, we'll get into that. You don't need to understand that, but just know this is where you would go look to see what extra abilities your unit has. You'll also notice these bolded words down here in the weapons section, which is the weapons sections are always at the bottom on the unit cards. If you see bolded words down here, that just applies to the weapon itself. So in this case, this weapon is any weapon that has this red, you'll see a line always drawn down, and then this red, this means this is melee combat. So you have to physically be touching the other mini in order to use this weapon. And then this keyword would apply to this weapon versus this guy right here can be shot range, and it's a ranged attack. So he can be shot at range 2 to 4. So there's a range tool that we measure with. Again, we'll cover this in our attack and defend videos. And then you're rolling this many dice, and then these keywords apply to what you're doing as well. And again, in our basic games, we're going to have the keywords down that apply. So sometimes you may see some stuff on these cards when we're playing the basic games. It may not apply, but just know as you get deeper into the game, if you continue to play, that's where you would go look to see what a weapon can do. And then the last thing just to understand about our weapons, again, is that on a ranged attack, 1 to 3 with these stormtroopers, if I had full health 4 stormtroopers on this, I'm rolling 4 dice, not just one white dice for a 4 unit. You're rolling 1 per mini, so it's always 1 per however many you have alive. So not necessarily 4. So if I had 1 taken out and I got 3, I'm rolling 1 per 3. With Vader, it's 6 red dice if I'm in melee combat. For every 1 Vader unit I have, which will always be Vader. And then down here, again, you can see I got a red, a black, and a white. So that would be 2 red, 2 black, 2 white if I had both speeder bikes. So that's how you kind of read the cards, guys. I know I blew through that really quickly. We'll be looking at those through some of the other videos. You'll see it come into play, but I just wanted to show you where to go look on these so it makes more sense later. All right, thanks a bunch and hope you enjoy the rest of these videos.